Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Entertainment Brick Show. Today we are back doing some more Lego Marvel, or Lego Infinity Saga, rather, video game ideas for phases. Now, last video was Phase 3 Part 1, considering Phase 3 was fairly large with a lot of movies, like 9 movies. I didn't want to do them all in one video, because that's a lot of work. So I decided that I would split it up into 2 separate parts, and this is part 2. So this would be the final 5 movies of Phase 3 here. And we have some pretty cool ones in here, some of my personal favorites, although there's a few that I'm not too crazy about. And I also want to mention that this is the end of Phase 3, of course, and that means we're heading into Phase 4, and Phase 4 isn't over yet. So, at the end of this video, I will be kind of talking about where I'm going to be going with this series, because that also is a very important question, considering Phase 4, again, is not over yet. So, but for now, let's just get through Phase 3 Part 2, and then, again, we'll talk about what's going to happen for the future. Starting us off here, Phase 3 Part 2, we're starting with, of course, Thor Ragnarok. My favorite Thor movie, for sure. I love this movie, so I'm very excited that I was able to do a level based off of it. So starting off Part 1, I forgot to mention, I always forget to mention the rules at the beginning. Rules are, I basically designed a Lego Infinity Saga video game, wrote it out, not actually like fully designed it. This is not real or anything. This is just purely my ideas for if they were to make a Lego Infinity Saga game. And now we're going through each phase of Marvel, and every movie is going to get a level in the game, with 3 parts each. So like beginning, middle, end sort of is kind of how I did it. And this also gives me an excuse to rewatch Marvel movies. So there you go. That is the rules here. But now here we go. Let's talk about Thor Ragnarok. So Thor Ragnarok level. Part 1 is just going to be called, Mir Asgard, whatever you want to call it. And you'll play as Thor Ragnarok in his Ragnarok kind of look, sort of. And then Heimdall as well from his, Ragnarok look, whatever. And the objective here is you're going to be thrown right in with a boss fight against Surtur. So, of course, Surtur is from the beginning of the movie here. Actually, he's in the end, too. I forgot about that. He's in the beginning of the movie, and he kind of traps Thor and whatever. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And, then there's this really cool sequence where Led Zeppelin starts playing and Thor just starts wiping out everybody on this planet and fights Surtur and stuff like that. And originally in the actual movie, Thor is on his own. But considering Lego games do co-op, you have to include some sort of other character, so why not throw in Heimdall here, considering Thor did call to Heimdall to bring him out, or take him out of the planet, off the planet, whatever, using the Bifrost. So why not have Heimdall be in here, because Heimdall's not only a cool character, but it would also be a character that somewhat fits into this part of the movie here. But yeah, I think it could be kind of cool to have, starting right off the bat, have a really cool boss fight with Surtur, just this giant molten lava character beast thing, which there was actually in LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2 a whole level dedicated to having a boss fight with Surtur, which was actually fairly similar, because I think Thor Ragnarok came out around the time that... No, it didn't. Wasn't Thor Ragnarok like 2017? I don't remember exactly. But then, I know LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2... Oh no, wait, that game did come out in 2017. Why did I think that came out in 2019? Man, alright, time is flying as I'm like having a midlife crisis right now as I'm thinking about this. I'm kidding, but yeah, so I know the game kind of took a lot of designs from Thor Ragnarok and included them in LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2, but now we're going to be getting a full kind of like part against Surtur rather than just like the full level. Then part 2 for this movie, of course, is called the Sakaar Arena, and you'll play as Thor in like the Ragnarok arena outfit. And then also Korg from Ragnarok, because he was also somewhat a part of this scene in the movie, and this would just be an excuse to play as him. And the objective here is to defeat Hulk from Ragnarok. So another boss fight here. I mean, this whole level is basically boss fights, just because they're very prominent fights. And this is, of course, when Thor, says, oh, he's a friend from work, and then fights Hulk in that giant arena. But, of course, same thing goes with part 1. I needed to find a co-op character to play as, so why not throw Korg in here, just cause, basically. So yeah, Korg's in here, and he's going to help Thor fight Hulk in the arena, just this giant fight with Hulk. And again, if I'm not mistaken, LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2 also had an arena fight with a bunch of Hulks. From what I remember, there was like the guy named the Red King, I think his name was, and he like controlled a bunch of the Hulks and used them in an arena to fight everybody. So I guess I'm really taking a lot of inspiration from Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, but then again, Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 probably took a lot of inspiration from Thor Ragnarok. So, yeah, that's part 2. Just another boss fight with Hulk. And then part 3, you'll be playing as Thor, in his, like, thunder, his whole thunder look where he's, shooting thunder from his hands and lightning from his hands, whatever. Doesn't even need a weapon to really fight with here. And you'll also be playing as Valkyrie in her Ragnarok outfit, as well as Loki in his Ragnarok look as well. And the objective here is to, of course, defeat Hela. Because, of course, Hela's the main villain here. And, I'm thinking, like, this would obviously be on the Rainbow Bridge. And I'm thinking, like, maybe in the background or something, Hulk's over there fighting the wolf. I don't remember the wolf's name. Is it Fenrir? I don't think that's how you say it, but I know he fought the wolf in that movie, in that part of the movie. But now you're just gonna be kind of focusing on Thor, Valkyrie, and Loki fighting Hela on the Rainbow Bridge. So again, another boss fight. But I think it'd be really cool to have this different version of Thor. We can actually shoot thunder and lightning from his hands. I think that could work really well. So there you have it. That is Thor Ragnarok. Next, we are moving on to Black Panther. Next up, we have Black Panther, the first Black Panther movie. Very excited for the sequel, by the way. If you want to throw that in there, I don't know why I had to, but I did. And part 1 here is going to be the part from the very beginning of the movie, actually, which was the Nigerian jungle part, I think it was, where you'll be playing as Black Panther, as well as Okoye and Nakia. And the objective here is to kind of sneak around and save all the innocent people from in the jungle, basically. So it's all if you don't remember what the scene was, it's all the soldiers taking a bunch of innocent people, and Black Panther heads down there to go help out and save these people. So you'll be kind of sneaking around past trucks and stuff, try not to get seen, do silent takedowns and stuff. I think it'd be really cool. And then you'd have to save a bunch of people from the soldiers in the Nigerian jungle. So I think this would be a nice way to kind of open it up. It'd be very very dark, very stealth kind of mission here. And again, you'll be playing as Black Panther, Okoye, and Nakia to start us off here. And then part 2 is this one's when they went to what was it? It was some sort of club, I think. I don't remember exactly what it was, to be honest with you. That was the one movie where I think I was falling asleep because it was 1 a.m. So I should probably rewatch that, to be honest with you. I love that movie. But anyways, this was the one where they went to the club. I don't remember, again, I remember exactly what it was, but you'll be playing as T'Challa in his disguise when they were there. T'Challa, Okoye, and Nakia all had disguises on to kind of fit in with this club here, and they kind of infiltrate it and then eventually get into this really cool fight scene with Claw and stuff like that. So the objective here basically is another boss fight, and it's or not a boss fight, rather. It is a boss fight, but not another boss fight, because there hasn't been a boss fight in this level. The boss fight here is Claw. So this is obviously Andy Serkis's character from Black Panther, if you didn't remember. And he has his arm can split, and it has a gun or a cannon in there or something like that. But yeah, this would basically be a boss fight with Claw, which I think could be kind of cool. Because how I'm envisioning it is you'll be playing as, again, T'Challa, Okoye, and Nakia in these disguises. And you'll be on the bottom floor, and Claw will be on the top balcony floor, and you'll have to kind of find ways to reach him and stuff like that to take him down. But I think this would be a really cool fight scene, or a really cool boss fight, because it'd be just so much going on at once, and all these guns and stuff are firing everywhere, and you just constantly have enemies coming in, fighting you and attacking you, trying to stop you. But I think it would really work really well. So there you go. That's part 2. And then part 3 is, of course, the end of the movie, the War on Wakanda, which I think could be incredible. I think this would be a really cool, really cool level to have here. This would also be utilizing I gotta find a name for this thing, but it's the Lego Star Wars 3, the Clone Wars, hold Y, and you'll switch your character as well as the place that you're in, or the setting of the level. I gotta think of a name for that. I constantly use that, and whenever I write some of these stuff down, I just don't know what it would be called. But yeah, this part would utilize that. So on one side you'll be playing as Black Panther, and the objective is to defeat Killmonger. So have a cool boss fight with Killmonger in the mines and stuff like that, the vibranium mines, and the trains will be, rushing by all the time, and you'll be having a fight with Killmonger. And then on the other side, you'll be playing as Shuri, Nakia, and Okoye. And the on their side, you'll be fighting the Wakandan War. You'll be fighting all the Wakandan people, and maybe having to take down some like the rhinos and stuff like that. Just kind of finding ways to fight everybody and like calm people down and stuff like that. Throughout this giant war battle scene, basically from the movie. But yeah, I don't know, very very cool ending to the level there. But there you go, that is the Black Panther level. Now we are on the final 3 movies here. The first of these final 3 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Not my favorite movie, to be actually. All 3 of these aren't my favorite Marvel movies, anyways. So with Ant-Man and the Wasp, we're gonna start with Ant-Man 2 here. Part 1 is this was a chore to watch. This movie was a chore. So and it was really tough to find like different things that happened in the movie to even make a level off of. So I apologize if this sounds kind of like boring, but again, this was really tough to kind of find something to do here. The part 1 is Lawrence Fishburne's character, who's Bill Foster, who's aka Goliath. And basically in this part, you'll be playing as Ant-Man, and as look from the movie, as well as Hank Pym. And the objective here is to escape Bill Foster's house. So I think there was, from what I remember, again, this was a chore to watch. There was a scene where Ant-Man and Wasp and Hank Pym were captured, tied up in chairs from Bill Foster or whatever, because like his daughter is Ghost, I think it was, and like they had to like escape and like fight him or something like that, and fight Ghost and stuff like that. I don't know. Chore to watch, so I wasn't really paying too much attention to this movie, to be honest with you. Just kind of trying to find ways to make some level parts out of it and then move on. But I still did watch it. I still did watch all of it. All of it. And this would just be part 1, trying to escape his house and stuff like that. Maybe you can like kind of go through it'd be almost like a stealth mission to start us off, sort of, where you have to like kind of sneak around the house and stuff like that. But yeah, and then moving on, part 2 is the Quantum Realm. So with this one, it was a little bit difficult to figure out what you would really be playing, I guess, because in the Quantum Realm, they had like the Quantum Realm Explorer vehicle thing, and they went through it, but I was thinking this would be somewhat unique here. Where like one person playing would be the Quantum Realm Explorer machine driver, and the other one would be some sort of gunner. And the objective here is to kind of make your way through the Quantum Realm. This would be similar to like flying sequences in like the Lego game levels, like where you're playing as Superman and Batman from Lego Batman 2, and you're trying to like shoot like down the plane and stuff like that, the LexCorp plane. So that's kind of like what I envision here, and you'll be kind of like flying through, trying to avoid like different Quantum Realm asteroid things, I guess, and not trying to hit them, while also like shooting stuff out of your way and things like that. Just as something a little bit unique, because again, this movie was really hard to find parts of to make into levels, so I was struggling a little bit, as you can see here. But then part 3 would be a Ghost boss fight, basically, where you'll play as Ant-Man and Wasp, and the objective is to defeat Ghost, have a boss fight with Ghost. And I think this would actually somewhat be interesting, because Ghost is an interesting character, not really from the movie, because she didn't really do much, but I think her powers would be interesting to have in a boss fight. So, Ant-Man, you play as Ant-Man and the Wasp, you have to find different ways to try and defeat Ghost and stuff like that in the Hank Pym building. Because I think that's where they fought, right? I don't even remember anymore. I'm like, this movie's so forgettable. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there you go. That is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now let's move on to Captain Marvel. Now we have Captain Marvel. Yeah, again, this is another movie where I'm just like, man, I really didn't want to have to watch this one. I didn't really enjoy this one much, but another chore here. But anyways, part 1 of Captain Marvel is the train scene here. You'll be playing as Captain Marvel in her Kree outfit, so like the green and bluish outfit, or armor rather. And you'll also be playing as a young Nick Fury. So of course, Nick Fury in his younger design from the film. And the objective here is to chase after the Skrull on the train. So I imagine this is going to be very similar to the Lego Marvel Avengers level, where you're playing as Scarlet Witch and Captain America on that moving train, fighting all the Ultron, the Ultron bots and stuff like that. But instead, you'll be playing as Captain Marvel here and Nick Fury, and you'll be chasing after a scroll throughout the train. So I think that could be kind of interesting. Maybe at the end there could even be like a little bit of a mini boss fight or something with this one scroll here, and then that would just kind of close out that part of the level. But you'll be basically just be moving through the train, and there's gonna be some sort of obstacle that shows up that you have to move out of the way or destroy or something, and you have to just keep moving on into forward into the train. Then the next part is like the shield facility part, where once again you'll be playing as Nick Fury in his younger look, and then also Carol Danvers, just kind of like regular civilian Carol Danvers look. And the objective here is to kind of go throughout this shield facility and like basically another stealth mission. There's a lot of stealth missions in these levels that I've come up with here. And in this one, you'll be sneaking around. I think there was like servers and stuff like that, and you'll be kind of sneaking around trying to avoid all these different agents and stuff like that coming after you. And finding different ways to hide and stuff like that. Maybe doing very similar to the Black Panther level, like different silent takedowns and stuff like that, because you can't be heard or too loudly. But yeah, I think that would be kind of cool just to kind of go throughout this shield facility and kind of sneak around and stuff like that. Then part 3 of this movie here would be, once again, you'll be playing as Nick Fury in his younger look, and then also you'll be playing as Captain Marvel in her actual Captain Marvel suit design here. And the objective here is a boss fight with Yon-Rogg, who of course is the villain of the movie here. This would probably be taking place when the ship crashes, when Yon-Rogg's ship crashes, and you're kind of like in like that somewhat of an open field kind of. That's where I imagine this would take place here. So Yon-Rogg will probably have some sort of blaster or something like that, and you'll have to kind of find ways to get up close to him and punch him or something like that. But yeah, nothing too taxing of a boss fight here, but just something to end the movie here on a stronger note, I guess would be the best way to describe it. So there you go. That is Captain Marvel. Now we are moving on to the final movie of Phase 3. Next, or the final movie actually. Now I'm looking at it. Not the best movie, to be honest with you. This is the Spider-Man Far From Home movie, or Spider-Man 2, I guess in this case. Yeah, again, not my favorite. These last 3 movies of this phase here have been kind of a chore to watch, to be honest with you. I really didn't like Far From Home much, but yeah. So Far From Home, here we go. Spider-Man 2. Part 1 is going to be the Hydro Man boss fight. Actually, matter of fact, these are all boss fights in this entire level here, but this first one is going to be the Hydro Man boss fight, and you'll be playing as Spider-Man in his, regular Far From Home look, as well as Mysterio. And I think this one could be kind of unique, considering Hydro Man wasn't really just like a character that they fought. It was more of like a giant creature that they fought, rather. I think this would kind of work because my idea for this level, I believe it was set in Venice, or this part of the level, rather. I believe it was set in Venice, and I was thinking like a 360 degree area of where Spider-Man and Mysterio could fight Hydro Man. So you'd be going over like the bridges of Venice, as well as like on both sides there would be like 2 decks or something like that to stand on. You would have to build different things and find ways to fight Hydro Man and defeat him as you kind of like go from deck to deck and like over bridge and bridge. So I think it would be kind of somewhat unique of a boss fight, again, not just fighting some sort of guy running right up to him and punching him and then he would lose, then you would defeat him. But it was more like you had to find different ways to be able to destroy Hydro Man, basically, or take him down, or, whatever. So yeah, that's part 1 is Hydro Man. Part 2 is the Molten Man fight, and, you'll be playing as Spider-Man in his Night Monkey outfit, which was like the UK name that they called Spider-Man, I think, from the movie. And this is kind of like where Spider-Man has his darker mask, as well as his darker outfit. And you'll also be playing as Mysterio as well. So Mysterio is the co-op character once again. And the objective here is to, of course, have a boss fight with Molten Man. I think this boss fight would be a little bit more like of a traditional one. But then again, this is also the where they were like at the carnival. I think Ned was at the Ferris wheel or something like that. So maybe there'd be some sort of ways where you could like use the different settings to kind of fight Molten Man and stuff like that, because obviously you can't really go right up to him and just punch him. That wouldn't really work. So I think you'd have to find some sort of way to take him down some other way. So I think that could work. But yeah, just another Molten Man boss fight, just, all boss fights this whole level. And then the final part, a little bit more unique here, is you'll be utilizing the, the Lego Star Wars, the Clone Wars 3, hold Y, change your character, change your setting. Again, I gotta find a name for that. Although, I don't know. I gotta find a name for it. Anyways, and on one side, you'll be playing as Spider-Man in his Far From Home outfit once again, and the objective here is to defeat Quentin Beck or Mysterio. So my idea here is you'll kind of be like on like the bridge, the glass hallway, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, breezeway of the bridge, and this is where like Quentin Beck goes somewhat invisible, sort of, and tries to shoot Spider-Man, and then catches the gun, whatever, and stops him. But yeah, that would be like a boss fight in that breezeway, hallway, whatever. And then on the other side, you'll be playing as MJ, Ned, and Maria Hill, and the objective there is to defeat one of the Mysterio drones that's chasing them throughout that museum. So I don't know, just kind of something unique, just to switch it up a little bit from just playing as Mysterio again, of course, because now Mysterio is the villain. So you'll be kind of like, it'll be another stealth mission here, where you'll be kind of like sneaking around the museum, trying to avoid the Mysterio drone from seeing you, while also trying to find ways to destroy it. So I don't know, I think it'd be kind of cool. So double boss fight here, double boss fight. But yeah, there you go. So that is Far From Home. So now it is time to talk about where this series is going to be going in the future. Considering the next phase is Phase 4, and Phase 4 isn't done yet at the time of this recording. Maybe it's done by the time this video comes out. I don't know yet, but we still have to finish She-Hulk. I think we're at this time of this recording. We're only on episode like 6 or 7 of She-Hulk, and also Black Panther hasn't come out yet. So my idea here is that Black Panther is going to come out. I'm going to do the movies for Phase 4 in a video or two. I don't know if I want to split it up yet. I'll have to figure that out when I get to it. But also Phase 4 introduced all of the Marvel shows. So I'm thinking maybe a separate video for all the Marvel shows of Phase 4, and I'll be doing one level based off of their finale episodes, and kind of treating it like DLC packs, sort of, is kind of my idea. Like, I want to do, like, some DLC videos, like, if this game was to have DLC, what would be the packs? And I think that's what I'm going to do with the TV shows, as well as maybe a few other unique character packs. So, like, the level packs would be a bunch of stuff from the shows. So, it'll come with, like, 7 to 8 characters, and then a full-blown level based off of the finale of the shows that the pack is based off of. I think I said that right. So I think I'm going to do that for Phase 4, just to start off, see how it goes. But otherwise, again, because Phase 4 isn't over yet at the time of this recording, so I'm not really going to do that yet. But otherwise, I'm going to do a video on 5 character packs that I think that this game could have for DLC. And then I might even move on to doing some other properties if they were to have kind of like a Lego video game, basically. So my idea is a DC one, like a DC Lego video game based off of the Snyder Cut, the Justice League Snyder Cut, and maybe some other DC movies, like the DCEU game, basically. I was thinking of doing that, as well as maybe a Star Wars TV show game, so like every time a season of a Star Wars show ends, I make levels off of it and share it all with you. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there when it comes to that, considering, again, Phase 4 isn't over yet, and Phase 5, I'll definitely make a video on Phase 5, but that's not going to end till, like, 2024 or 2025 or something like crazy like that. So that is way, way into the future. And I want to continue this series because I love making these videos. So, yeah, that's my thoughts there. But otherwise, you'll see what I decide to do next, basically. This is kind of like the idea. You'll see what I decide to do next, and I hope you enjoy it. So, but right now, that was it for Phase 3 Part 2. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed that video, do the comment stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. See ya.